Welcome everyone to another adventure into reality. This is a reminder for everyone to keep off your video. We've had a number of people who don't realize your video is turned on and they're naked in their living room. So all those people who keep turning your video on, turn off your video. We've had enough flashers for the last a while. Just a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, the way the show begins, the first clip of the video before I come in is what the video on YouTube picks up. And it's a guy on his couch with long white hair, and his name is iPhone. And he is naked on his couch, drinking a cup of tea. Okay? So please, turn off your video. And we are going to be having a unique show once again today. Boy, I got my audiences listening well today. I want to say hello to everyone out there that's not a flasher. As more people are turning their video on. All right, I want to read my little bit of an opening speech here. All right. One second here. What follows is my will to express my internal masterful self and masterful outcreation of the systems of distraction and domination. I, in this ever-present moment of now, choose to form a multi-layered spiritual cord of alchemical equity for the express purpose of sharing the Akashic Records at the proper scale and size so that beings of light may manifest now, may reclaim their birthright and legacy as sovereign beings of conscious choice. This is my map in non-competition with all other frequencies of light. We create this in the pyramid of the self, the temple of the self, where we have danced to the shadows and the patterns of former selves and accepted who we are in the now. That mighty pyramid of the self is where the bubble of protected no time creates the I am heart now statement. I summon all ancestors, past, present, and future, in equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order, to populate this manifest now spiritual cord of equity. So the manifest now may begin the process of expansion of knowingness for the express purpose of revealing our race amnesia. So we as a species in global unity may begin to tell the tales of the ancestors, past, present, and future. Call to Earth Mother, who holds sacred space for all life within her realms of light existence. Come occupy this multidimensional spiritual cord of equity. I ask you to be the sovereign neutral auditor of time-spaced existence within this expression of teaching the Akashic Records to this first pod of whale people assembling in the mighty co-creative now. Here's in the now, we anchor the Akashic Record frequency. We do this by sharing light codes in the form of language in a third density manifest world. With these words, we make sacred our expression by holding the sacred neutral position. You, in the mighty moment of now, have so many choices. The first group of choices that you want to look at is, what are you manifesting in your sovereign boundaries? Here's what you can do to perform spiritual surgery on yourself, where you can learn about the old habit patterns that make you lazy, or unencumbered or over-encumbered with emotions. This is where, in that powerful meditative moment, you can pull the power of choice and say, I am now removing that from my signature frequency of being. I am no longer a match for that subject matter that constantly creates a cyclical habit pattern of self-destruction, self-disease, creation, or any other form of co-creation with zealot energy that leads me away from my divine co-creative inner transforming self, taking it step by step, so the process of life doesn't become a series of instant gratified moments, but the infinite of our soul learning from the greater experience of the I am in the now. Allowing equal co-creation to be a part of our regular everyday life will be the true challenge of those who want to live the mystical life daily. Because there are times we choose to do our meditations, and then our desire is to have a micro-mystical moment. And that is the subtle levels of instant gratification of our reality layers coming to us with the co-created divine force of the infinite spirit, reminding us, even in those instant moments, we aren't gratified. We're showing layers of wisdom in our knowingness, and we simply must be present enough to unpack and uncode the mystical experience so we understand that it isn't gratifying a part of us, it's fulfilling us. So today's topic is, are you ready to change today? So I want everyone that's here right now to head on to the chat room and ask yourself, are you ready to change? And what is it that you want to change in yourself? Codependency, self-hate, trusting. Santo depends on what change is. You're wavering. Self-sabotage. A lot of very common concepts. Okay. More patience, belief in myself, distancing. There we go. Oh, yeah, we got definitely a lot of people who want to know change. Now, what has stopped you from changing? A lot of stuff. Unworthiness. And now the last question I want you to answer to yourself is, can I maintain change in myself? All right, Robert, let's spin up that wheel of callers and see who wants to have a conversation about change, life force, coronavirus.
Okay, I'll get Greg. He was the first one in.
Greg, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
Glendale.
From Dandel? Where's that?
Glendale, California.
Glendale. Welcome to the show, Greg. What did you want to talk about today?
Okay, so we talked last time we talked was the Halloween special, and I was the guy who you told to get his head out of his ass.
I remember. Get a job.
Yes. So
Yes.
2 days later, I got the job.
You were the one that was the swim instructor?
Yes, head swim coach.
I do remember. Haha.
Yeah. So I can kind of thank you for that, because the way you put it, it switched something in my head, and I just kind of started praying. And then 2 days later, the job that I had applied for, they called me back. They're like, "Oh, we have the head swim coach position, and it's just the perfect one for me." But now things have changed, and the gyms are all closed. And I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I have a lot of time to get back to my healing. But then the thing is, like last time we talked, you said I did too much healing, or I needed to process, and I have done a lot of processing, but I've kind of hit this plateau. Maybe it's just the plateau of my awareness, where I don't know how to deal with the self-hate. I can't really let it go. It's just I literally see a part of myself pushing another part of me away. And
Okay.
Of course, we talked about the entity. It's latched on exactly to that specific trauma.
Okay. So when you went back to work, how did it fulfill you?
I mean, it was really good. It gave me, like, I got to work with kids again. It gave me like a long-term goal, like a way of building myself up and developing myself. It allowed me to mature. Um, yeah, yeah, I grew a lot of my abilities, that certain things I wasn't good at, like writing emails. Now I'm really good at it. So just a lot of things.
Okay. What was some of the more tougher things of going back to work for you?
Dealing with certain authority figures where I don't agree with decisions being made and not being able to, like, well, one of the things is I'm not getting paid what I'm supposed to be. I took the job at a cut because of the debilitated state the swim team was on. I came on, I essentially more than doubled the size of the swim team in the amount of time. And then I didn't really get the pay increase back to what I was supposed to be getting paid. But then at the same time, I don't agree with the ignorant decisions the leadership is making. So that's the struggle.
Okay, I can understand that. And when did you lose your job?
I haven't really lost it yet. Um,
Okay,
I'm still,
everything's just shut down though.
yeah.
Okay, what did it feel like when it was shut down on you?
I couldn't really accept it. It's been difficult for me to accept this whole
Oh,
virus thing.
authority again.
Yeah.
Come down to the authority. Then that's the work you got to do on during your coronavirus vacation.
Yeah. I've been trying to do authority work for a long time. It's just, it's difficult. Like I have this specific pain in like a psychic pain in my spine. I know it's authority. I've tracked all that stuff down. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm resistant to healing at this point. Maybe you can explain that.
Well, where did your anger with authority start from?
I mean, obviously childhood, and it was a pretty bad circumstance. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I can get how specific I can get. It's just I never got my way, and I was kind of told to do everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I can explain right now.
No, I grew up in a Greek family where everyone has 10 PhDs. Literally, that's what they believe.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to get over that.
Well, the thing is, it's like I want to let go, and I can almost sit down and try to disidentify from my ego as a whole at almost any given time. It's just there's just fear of letting go, if that makes sense.
Because you won't be in control anymore.
Right.
Your need to be in your problem with authority is control.
Right. So it's I need to be in authority,
Correct.
not necessarily with other people's decisions.
Correct.
Okay. That makes sense. So I have to let go of the fact that I'm probably never gonna
No, no,
necessarily.
no, 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 no. That's self-defeating in itself. You have to let go of having to take control of all situations and have authority in all situations.
Yeah, but everyone else tends to make the wrong decisions.
No, that's judgment.
But then you have to have good judgment. That's that. I think it's that
No,
kind of.
you create conclusions and not judgments. Conclusions are open-ended, judgments are not.
Right. So I
Okay.
have to let go of control. But the thing
Mhm.
is how do you do that?
Very carefully. It's unraveling why you have to be in control in the moment. Why do you have to be the leader who has all the right answers?
Because if I'm not in charge, then I'm not being considered whatsoever.
Or flip the frequency on it. I'm allowing to others to be in charge so I don't have to have anything within me challenged.
Say that again. Hold on.
I don't have to be in charge in this moment, so I don't have to have myself be challenged. I choose to be non competitional. There's always a way to flip the frequency on the conversation with yourself.
Right.
So, what is another reason of why you have to be in charge in the moment?
It's like a feeling like I have to take responsibility for other people. And I think that's what it's always come down to. When uh,
Mm-hmm.
anytime I've healed and found connection with myself, it's always responsibility issues. Me feeling okay. Here's what it is. Let me backtrack a little bit. So I spoke to you about shrooms, right?
Yep.
The reason I didn't let go at that point in time is because of what it means to be your own, God creator. And the negative meaning behind it is for me, and the reason I couldn't let go is because then I have to be responsible. It's like I have to be responsible for all of this. It's almost like a self blame at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then
But
I
you flip the frequency on yourself saying, I have to be responsible for everyone. Find the language in your own voice to flip that frequency.
to flip the frequency. To
Turn it
find
to
the,
turn it to an advantage instead of a disadvantage.
yeah, I get to be responsible. Like I get to be a leader that actually knows what people want and need, and I get to meet their needs. And I get to be all good.
Try turning that around, that you don't have to be the leader in every situation. Give yourself the teaching it needs in the moment to not be the teacher in all moments.
Yeah. So I get to learn from other people.
So you get to learn from other people's examples of leadership. Yes.
Right. To an extent I do, but it's limited because of that core self is still there.
Because there's a shame, blame, guilt aspect going on inside you somewhere relating with that.
Yes.
So was there a situation that you were in charge of that went horribly wrong?
I mean,
in your past that created a trauma?
the only trauma, I only have one specific trauma of guilt, but I don't see how it would relate to this.
Well, what is it? What is it?
Um, this one time, this kid wanted to go down a hill on the bikes, and I just felt a sense of fear, and he went and I didn't, and I felt guilty for not going down, and also like he hit a tree when he went down. Um,
Mhm.
and I kind of got really scared. And, I mean, there were people there, so they were doing a picnic there, so there was someone there who immediately attended to him, but I got scared. Like I don't know how old I was, but I kind of went away. That's the only sign. That and another time where I didn't want to hang out with someone, and he heard me tell my mom to not allow me to. it, I'm kind of cutting two stories right there. Sorry, I mixed it up a little bit. But the tree one, I don't know if you think that's it, or the other one where the other guy overheard me, kind of not wanting to hang out with him because I don't even want to tell that. Should I tell that story or?
Say it.
All right. So this kid asked if he wanted me to go over to his house, but I didn't want to because it always smelled, and I'm pretty sensitive to smells. And I just didn't want to hang out with him. So I went inside and I asked my mom to not allow me to go play with him, and the window was open and he heard everything. And I was like 7 years old or something, and my mom was saying yes, and then I'm like, no, don't let me. And then he totally heard everything, and when I opened the door, he's like, what was that? And I kind of gaslighted him for a second, and then he kind of went away. But that was definitely, those two things are like, if there's anything I have guilt about, it's those two.
But that actually does relate to you taking charge of any scenario, because you got caught in the past one and you couldn't lead yourself through. Okay.
So those are the two situations.
They have others. They all connect to everything here.
Yeah.
And part of you felt so bad for doing that in the moment. You're never going to put yourself in a situation where you couldn't take charge of a scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
That happened when I first started working at the Y. It died down later, but when I first started working there, the self-hate started kicking up to really try to prevent me from taking charge again.
I understand that. So your inner work during coronavirus is to get in contact with your type A personality that has to be in charge.
Yeah.
And you got to let it talk because it's a talker. And you got to write down what it's saying and then allow the I am in the moment to come up with the counter frequencies so that you don't have to be in charge in every minute of every second of every moment.
Yeah.
Okay. You can learn from other people, allowing them to have an equal time on stage. so you don't look like a narcissist even though you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do my best to allow that, but you can only allow it so much with conscious willpower. It has to happen at a deeper healing level.
And that's why the inner work is done in ceremony, so on and so forth, in ritual, in which you have your notes from ahead of time and the inner work that you've done. Okay.
So you're saying I can return to that level of healing that I was doing with the same amount of meditation?
No. You went way overboard last time. And when I told you you had to, go to work, you did. You did way, way, way too much. You gave up on the other side. And you can't give up on the other side again.
What,
You've got to
what
learn
do you mean
to
I gave up on?
You gave up on the normal human side as you went so far
Oh.
into spirituality.
Right. Yeah, I don't recommend anyone healing from morning to night.
Right. It does not get you anywhere, ultimately.
Yeah.
Okay? So you've got to figure out how to balance that, really balance that.
So what do you recommend as far as the amount of time I should allot every day?
No more than 2 hours a day.
Okay.
Okay. And an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon, or 2 hours max. Even 2 hours is still too much for you right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So ease into it.
Yes, ease into it. But you're all on lockdown. Okay. So there's going to be inevitably a day you do more, you do less, or whatever is going to happen. Okay. And don't beat yourself up about it, but learn to have non-spiritual fun.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Oh, also, thank you. I do a lot of reading now. I finished the Witcher series, and now I'm starting something else, and I'm reading some spiritual books too.
Good. Okay. If you haven't read any Carlos Castaneda, pick him up. He's a great read.
Carlos Castaneda?
Yep.
What genre?
Spirituality.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's spirituality. All righty, I got to let you go and move on to my next caller. Thanks for calling back.
Okay, definitely. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, Robert, let's spin up that wheel of callers and see who wants to have a conversation with me today.
Okie dokie. Next caller will be Ardenisa Austin.
Ardenisa, how you doing? Where you? Great. Where? New Zealand. Welcome to the show. What time is it over there for you?
It is. Look, it is about 11:30 in the morning.
Ah, we got you on a good time. So how are you doing today?
Oh, Andrew, it's so good to talk to you. Look, I spoke with you about 6 months ago last year. And I was just before going on we had a private talk. It was just before heading to Nepal to do some trekking up in the Himalayas. And do some Vipassana over there. But in our conversation, we were able to talk about some of the work I was involved in when I was in Brazil, which involved children from another planet. Working with planet, we ended up having 4 children on planet Kiris, and we were talking about how there were a number of other people who were involved in doing that. The beautiful part of going to Nepal and sitting in Vipassana was I was able to place that experience into an aquamarine frequency is where I placed that frequency, so I could amalgamate my life better with rather being so encompassed with that experience when I was in Brazil 20 years ago. So lovely to talk to you again, and just to give you feedback of where I am today, and in these times of coming together and growing in all our wonderful facets, So thank you for your counsel 6 months ago.
You're welcome.
Also, yeah, look, you really helped me with just being able to place my journey with understanding my involvement and understanding this infinite wise universe that we live in, Also, in working with you spoke about planet Kiris being, and it made so much sense to me, being in the distant future, and that some of us need to come to Earth to co-create, to come here to create those possibilities for souls that are lost in between time and space. And it was so, that information you gave me helped me settle so much wonder and just not being able to really ground and understand the purpose that I was involved in 20 years ago. It helped me so much with being able to earth and ground myself today. Probably a little bit of out there for the standard person, but I realize now we are all in this so together, and we all come for different reasons. And that just helped me so much to be able to place that experience and also not feel alone in it. When we spoke, you spoke that there were about another 15 or so people also who have populated other planets to help the souls with that were caught in time and dimension. So yeah, here I am. Look, when I went to Nepal, I went to Lumbini. It's a place of Buddha's birth, and I shaved my hair with the monks and placed my hair in the four corners of where Buddha was born. And when I meditate, it was such a beautiful act of service that I personally did for letting go and detachment, you know, from I guess, look, I'm 48, so yeah, I used to dye my hair every 2 weeks, and I was very attached to my grey hair, so I shaved my head, and now I've got a short spiky grey hairdo, which was a wonderful lesson of detachment, you know. So yeah, here I am. And also you spoke about taking the healing plant. We have the mushrooms here in New Zealand, and through taking that healing plant, learning more about my possibility, and which was funny. I was walking in the park, only, you know, we're in lockdown, and I was walking in the park and I saw some mushrooms in the ground, and I thought, yes, Andrew.
I spoke to you from the mushrooms.
Yes, Andrew, I see you in the growing in the garden, and I'm not too far away. I'm looking forward to maybe even this downtime now where the mushrooms are growing. Maybe, you know, maybe very soon. I look forward to journeying with that.
Yes, and yes. Keep on growing. Keep on journeying.
Yeah.
Only once every several thousand years do we all get a global lockdown like this.
Oh, I know. Yeah, so it's a pretty exciting time. And, you know, definitely feel, you know, that the flow between the fear and the love. You know, we have these two pendulums, and I feel myself, you know, going between it in all sorts of different times. But yeah, also keeping it simple seems to help me earth and center myself.
Wonderful. So is there anything that I could help you with today?
Oh, look, for yeah, totally. I would love to understand more about bringing in a planet experience, and whether that is a frequency, working with soul shards. Oh, look, 2 days ago I was outside, it was nighttime, and I looked up into the sky. It was about 8 o'clock at night. I looked up into the sky, and there was this line. If you can imagine a fishing line with oil coming down it, it was a line in the sky with a whole lot of stars just falling down from the sky and just disappearing as they came down. It was a straight line, just falling straight down, just above the house, which was probably about 200 meters away. So I was wondering if you had an understanding of what we were watching. There was a few of us sitting there watching it. We took a photo of it, and it was quite profound, these lights coming down. I wasn't sure what that was signifying.
That was something there in the moment for you and whoever was around, or whoever was on the horizon trying to watch. A lot of times when you have lights on the horizon coming down in that particular thing, it's who's there to be the observer, and the conscious observer has some form of spiritual contract to observe that change in the matrix.
It
Not
looked
always,
like,
but usually it's a change in the matrix.
oh, it looked very much like that, because they were so unified, and the stars were coming from so high in the sky down that straight line right to the house above, and then poof, just disappearing. It was a wonderful experience to observe, you know,
And it's like
especially
an energetic zipper opening up and letting stuff through and closing up.
exactly, very much like that. Yeah. Also, another question in the meditations I'm involved in, just with myself and having that connection to a planet in the far, far future. How do you feel like, what sort of work do you feel I could do to, or is it necessary, or in part of my soul journey, on working with that energy to help the humans today?
The answer is yes, to help the humans today. But ultimately, it's how are you going to create the space in which you as a human being today can perceive this information, record this information, and then bring it back up as subject matter to other people who don't know what it is. Like there are people in the chat room right now, they're scratching their head because they weren't a part of the private session in which you had
Yeah,
a very big informational opening stage. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So you've got to create a way for a bridge for people to start understanding what that level means.
Right.
Okay. So create meditations, guided meditations that tell a story.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after a while, you'll get that technique down, and from guided meditations, because that'll help you grow. You'll create people, places, and things. You know, they're like the other world's marketplace. What kind of food do they have? Okay, they have their versions of Mom's chicken soup.
So is it in my frequency to be able to start accessing that information, or I guess my my misunderstanding is it, I don't, having worked with attachment, is it me wanting to be attached to something that isn't my time and place right now? Well, have I already started off the planet and its growth?
You've already started it all.
And so is it in my right to continue working closely with that, or do I learn to detach and leave it where it is? I guess that's the battle in myself is
Correct.
Yeah. And that's where I stand, because I don't want to be needy, but at the same time I want to be of great service. if that makes sense.
See, but you're also selling yourself short by saying I'm going to unattach from it by not exploring it. Okay.
Sure. No, I want to explore it and I want to be connected to it, of course.
Embrace it then, just don't become a zealot or a martyr to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to.
It's not like you need to go out and make a website tomorrow, you know. Okay. It's not like you're gonna put $5,000 of marketing emails down yet. No, you don't.
It's quite hard to discuss with people because it's a little bit out there. Yet for me,
it's more than a little bit. It's more than a little bit out there.
Is it?
It's more than a little bit. It's definitely out there.
Also, well, look, do you think working with the herbal, working with the plant and the mushrooms would help me make that connection stronger and bring those frequencies into my my lucid dreaming, my practice?
Guided meditations that you create that create a membrane in which you can connect into that is both there and here at the same time.
What I was doing, Andrew, was I was going to a pool. I would go onto the planet and sit in a pool there with, crystals and sit with the beings there at that time.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't you go and have dinner with some of them?
I chose also to put it into the aquamarine. It's a crystal, a frequency where I thought rather than trying to go all the way to the planet, I wanted to meet them maybe in the aquamarine frequency. Is that an appropriate thing or not? Or
don't ask me what is appropriate, unappropriate for your world. You got to know yourself.
Okay, sure.
Kevin, am I here to help you devise what is your color schemes? You devise
No, you're not. You're not at all.
Okay.
And I guess what I wanted to do was not become totally immersed in another world and not be grounded and present in my world here. I mean, I spent a long time just with my mind in there, in that world. And I very much want to bring the two together, but to do it with ease and grace.
Well, then give yourself the opportunity on coronavirus do it with ease and grace. Give yourself spiritual permission every day you wake up to combine these two with ease and grace.
Perfect, I will do. Also, would it make sense to connect, I mean, maybe later with a private session or something with the other people who have been involved in creating a planet and helping, you know, maybe a small group of us getting together and talking? Would that be something supportive for myself and others?
A planetary creators support group.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Are they going to meet in the church rectory?
Exactly. Maybe we could have our own little Facebook kind of connection and support each other on how we're working with that.
God creators, worldly creators. The answer to that is yes. Yes.
What? And would I be able to give my contact to you to offer to the other? I think you said about 15 that you'd spoken with that were involved in similar work.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Would you be?
How about you work on your permission slip first?
Yeah, I'll make it look real pretty, I promise.
Okay.
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, it's wonderful talking. And look, I would love to make a small group of us that could do that. That would be awesome.
There you go. We'll do it. But start getting your permission slip to have everything doing flawlessly and easily come together for yourself.
Okay. So the guided meditations and the work with me meeting
that create the story that as a membrane, so you can begin to interact with the world.
Okay. Can I also?
I got to let you go and move to my next call. We're trying to get as many callers in as we can today.
Yeah, absolutely, Andrew. A pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much, and I'll get on contact maybe with online tuition too. Okay, love you so much, and
love
kia ora
you too.
all the way from New Zealand to all the viewers.
Yes.
Kia ora.
All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who's up next.
Okay, Finn Flora, you're unmuted with Andrew.
Finn, how you doing? Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Norway.
From Norway. Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about today?
You know, I want to talk a little bit about Corona, among other things.
Okay, let me crack open a Corona beer.
Yeah. I just finished my last six-pack and now I'm working on something else, but yeah.
Okay,
Corona wasn't that good a beer either way.
Okay, what about it? What do you want to know about it?
The thing is, you know, after all of this happened, I don't know if you remember last time I talked to you. You gave me an advice about returning to my inner child.
Yes, I do.
I'm the chef from Norway. You know, I had the spatula up my ass and all that stuff. Go back, listen to comedy, and also work on my physical health. You know, about relaxing.
Yep, the boss you didn't like either.
Say what?
The boss that you didn't like.
Yeah. All of that stuff.
I remember. Yep.
Yeah, and also that the funny thing is, I was about ready to go back to work again. I kind of sorted that thing out, and then I was ready to go back to work, and then suddenly this Corona stuff just hit. So I just went straight out to, you know, okay, going into quarantine. Hey, okay. Also, like the hermit coming down from the mountain, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to socialize again. And then suddenly this hit, and I'm like, oh shit, you know. So, well, okay, I guess I'm going back up the mountain again.
Or you got to stay quarantined in the city.
Yeah.
There's going to be there's going to be a lot of people who want you to cook for them because they can't cook. Okay.
No, that's the thing. I just invited somebody over for a Saturday, and they're all like, no, we don't want to get sick. And I'm like, no, I'm not sick, you know. And I crave company, you know. So, and everybody's really paranoid about this thing. But the weird thing is for me that I've never been more calm.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's the weird thing, and I'm actually feeling a bit bad about it because I actually feel quite good about the entire thing. I actually feel almost like it's a really good, positive thing going on, and I can't really talk about it to anyone because they always, they won't take it the way I actually mean it,
Well, I believe there's a lot of positive things that are going to happen during lockdown, coronavirus. Even though there are people going to be dying, there's still positive to be understood here, positive to be had here. And it can be looked at as the glass half empty, the glass half full, or the glass empty and it's full of coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly.
So we all have to understand we got to make it what we want to make it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It's like being stuck on high school detention. You can still make it a fun detention. You can. Okay.
I only been to detention once, and I loved it.
Okay. And this isn't detention. You're stuck in your house with TV and internet. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I got the forest out there. I'm smelling of a fireplace right now. I've been out in nature all day. I actually enjoy this time, and there's hardly any people anywhere. It's for me, it's great. I've been cooking a lot. I've been experimenting. I've just been.
That you can see, like maybe every day at noon, or they all come to you for a breakfast show.
Yeah, interactive cooking or interactive.
Right, that's huge. That's huge in Korea, where all it is a person in their kitchen making a meal, talking to 5,000 people.
Yeah. Maybe I'm gonna have to do that if I can't get people over here to actually, because I'm dying to cook for somebody.
Do it online, and then you can start smell-o-vision.
Yeah, smell-o-vision.
Can you smell me cooking this? Okay, can you smell me cooking this?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Andrew, you're all into this technology and stuff. Is this some kind of hidden technology? Does that actually exist in this reality? You can actually pass smell through internet?
No, there's no smell-o-vision. I made that up. I'm sure some.
So there's no like Illuminati bunker somewhere that actually
got smell-o-vision going. I'm sure there's some Illuminati person somewhere got smell-o-vision. It may not work.
Yeah, with the goats.
Everything may smell like chicken.
Yeah. Oh my God. But that was kind of the big question of this, because I feel like the interactions I'm having with other people are usually about finding the bright side. Every time I'm just like, yeah, but now we get to do whatever we want. We get to hang together. Now we're getting to do stuff.
You can't. The thing is, you can't hang together with everyone under quarantine.
Yeah, exactly.
It defeats the point.
Unless it's kind of like a big space and we all do river dance or something like that. It's not going to work.
Cooking and river dance. There you go. Social distancing, cooking, and river dance.
Yeah.
There you go.
Some kind of wide space, social, personal space barbecue or something like that.
There you go. Personal space barbecue.
Yeah. Well, and also I was wondering, how does this work with my personal reason for being here in the beginning? Because when this kind of hit, I was like, it was like I felt, okay, this is my shot. And I was like, okay, what's the shot? And I was wondering, does this go to some kind of bigger purpose, or is it just me playing tricks on myself? I don't know.
Well, you're not playing a trick on yourself right now with coronavirus. It's real. So you tell yourself it's real.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And
ultimately, the situation for you here is, well, what do I have to do now for myself to be successful even in coronavirus? And challenge yourself daily. What small goals can I make that I can reach out to a community of people who are stuck in their home, binge watching TV over and over again?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm working on.
Ask family and friends. Are you bored at 3:00 in the afternoon? Could you not watch any more news?
Yeah, I'm surprised people aren't getting tired of the news. That should happen soon, though. But yeah,
they are getting tired of the news. You watch the ratings; they're down severe. They're really down. Okay.
I asked this buddy of mine over for Saturday, and I was like, I have a 44-year-old days dry aged prime rib, and you want to come over, and he's like, nah, I'm broke and I'm terrified of this corona. I'm like, are you sure you don't want to eat this, you know?
I want to eat that. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly. I've been working on this for over a month, you know. You
Yeah.
gotta share with somebody.
Yeah, that's not something you can eat by yourself.
And yeah. And also, during another show, you were talking about stuff you can do, what you can't do, and what works and what doesn't. And one thing I was wondering about, I wrote in the chat, does smudging work? Sage?
Oh, yes, absolutely does.
Yeah.
Helps clear out the negative energies, the stagnant energies, and get things moving.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for the virus, but it helps with the fear state, or?
Well, the fear states and the energies that are created around the fear states, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so but does it have to be white sage?
No, it can be any sage.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It can be a variety of things. It can be even frankincense and myrrh and all that other stuff too.
Yeah, lavender and all rosemary.
Sage just has a really high quality at getting dense energy to move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and when you got to get dense energy out of a space, sage is one of those just magnificent tools to use.
Yeah. What about beadwork, crystals, and stuff like that outside of the four corners of my house and my bed? I mean, try to share the energy of other people.
No, you shouldn't be sharing the energies of other people. You got to keep your energy yours.
Yeah. And also, I have a very direct question.
Okay.
I mean, for the potential future of my Akashic record, am I going to get the virus?
Good question. Do you think you will?
No, I don't think so. I did have swine flu and the bird flu, and that would be a trifecta for me, and that's got to be some kind of record, you know. But I don't think so. I don't really think so. It doesn't feel like it.
Okay.
The only thing I wouldn't worry about dying or anything. I would only think about I can't really be very sociable with anybody at that point.
Right. You don't want to give it. You don't want to give it to anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be the only issue then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm in my 30s, so you know I'm not going to die. You know.
People in their 30s and their 20s are still dying from this.
Yeah, but I don't know. Are you telling me?
No, I'm telling you, you can't just poo-poo it.
No. I'm not doing that.
I'm immune to it. Nothing's going to happen to me. No.
Oh, no. If I get sick, I get sick. But it does.
If you get real sick, go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And luckily, my hobbies doesn't require, except for cooking for other people, then it doesn't require me to be social at all.
Well, there's a whole generation of chefs who are about to get a whole bunch of recovered energy and are able to sleep in.
Yeah, because
I was talking to another chef friend of mine he operates a very high-end restaurant in New York City, like total white glove service, you know. Like super, super high end. And he's like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, and he's addicted to the pressure.
Not just the pressure, the interaction with people fulfills him so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with the common busboy to the server to the person that's cutting the vegetables, he says, I miss that part. I really, really miss that part.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking awesome when it works, you know. It's just like a well-oiled machine, you know. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's nothing better than a perfect service. You know that as well, you know. It's
right. It's fulfilling. It's fulfilling.
Yeah, it's really fulfilling.
Right. Mm-hmm. How can you make that fulfilling energy without the restaurant as a medium?
Oh, I got it.
One of your challenges. How can I do it? I'm a modern person. Technology is there. What can I do to make it feel like that?
I'm gonna have to go interactive.
You're gonna figure out how to yell at the busboy for over the internet.
Oh God, I missed that, Andrew.
Okay.
You know,
I get it. You missed that
taking
part.
my hot frying pans and throwing them into the dishwasher and steam everywhere, and I go pick it up. Oh, I missed that.
Well,
I don't miss the tickets.
You got to make a big cardboard cutout of all your workers.
I love all my coworkers. You know, not
Yes.
all, most of them, but I do miss that energy.
Mhm.
It is great.
Those are some of the things that you got to figure out how you can do out of the next level of, well, I need this to fulfill me now.
Maybe just for friends and family first. What about cooking in nature? I mean, people are not as afraid of nature as coming into my home. You know, it's like my lair. Maybe if I do it outside, it's really nice weather out here.
You could easily do a whole bunch of outdoor cooking. The
Yeah.
thing is, cooking and the coronavirus outside. The
Yeah.
if somebody's sick, you're gonna pass it on. Okay.
Yeah.
It's that strong.
Yeah.
And let's say nobody in the scenario has it in your group that has it. It's very easy for one little thing to go wrong, and a little bit of this gets into that, and a little of that touches this, and the next thing you know, nothing's supposed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so it's kind of high risk,
It's high risk. Correct. That's the whole point of social distancing. But
so how can I do
if
that?
you're good, you could always just have a group of people that are your cluster group. If everyone stays home and doesn't go out and doesn't do anything, and you meet up, once a week, and you all, bring something. I don't know. I don't want to give bad advice, but at the same time, it's a journey to discovering yourself.
Yeah.
A journey to discovering yourself.
I think that that's a part of this I actually do like, though. I kind of like the challenge. I mean, because the limitations, in a way, the coronavirus brings limitations upon our, subjective reality, and that actually boosts creativity.
That's
in a
right.
way, if you understand
That's
what
right. Yes, I do.
And I kind of like that.
Give yourself the opportunity.
Yeah.
To be in that super creation mode, and just randomly yell at the busboy who isn't there to make up, or yell at the cook. What is this? You didn't put no salt in it, asshole.
Yeah, or I can play both parts. I mean, people are gonna think I'm crazy, but I mean, who cares, right? It's gonna be comedy.
Exactly. Yeah. Cook and comedy. Anthony Bourdain did it.
Yeah. Are you going to feature some stand-up on this channel after a while? I heard you talk about that.
Yes, I have been working on a stand-up routine for a while. Yeah, so Monty Dean's going to be doing the comedy shows with me. He's been on a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And the goal there is to just break it down, is whatever we can poke fun of in the moment.
Yeah. None of that political correctness bullshit. We're all locked inside now. We're all in the same boat, so it doesn't really matter now. Either way,
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot for calling. Let me move on to the next caller.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, good talking to you too. All right, Robert, let's spin up that wheel of callers and see who we get up next.
Takara Brown, you are unmuted with Andrew.
Takara, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Barbados.
Welcome to the show, Takara from Barbados. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, first, I just wanted to thank you for the previous shows that you did on the virus. It was very helpful just to get an understanding of, what was going on. And it kind of definitely tamped down the anxiety. So thanks for that. What I wanted to ask you today was, last week you were talking to this lady about, she said she was doing DNA work. And you mentioned the strands that you needed to work on. Can you expand on that a bit as to, I guess, how you can go about working on the strands? Is it something that you can do yourself, or,
Okay, so that particular person is quite experienced at doing their own self-psychic surgery.
Okay.
So anytime you're working on reprogramming or deprogramming yourself, you are working on the fundamentals of your DNA. Example, if you're a stubborn person, that's in your DNA. There's a strand for that.
Right.
And you get it from your mother and father, their mother and father, the 7 previous generations of your lineage. determines the level of stubbornness you are. Or let's say you have a whole family, everyone for generation after generation has been in the military, and somebody breaks it, doesn't go to the military. You're changing the DNA. So if it's specifics, let's say the shame, blame, and guilt strand, that is something that you come in with where it makes it very easy to beat yourself up with shame, blame, and guilt. Your mom did it, your father did it, and that's all you know how to do growing up was beat yourself up.
Right.
Okay, so that would be something that you would look at as a fundamental strand of the DNA and say, I now want to deconstruct this strand of DNA and replace it with something that does not torture myself with shame, blame, and guilt. I flip the frequency on shame. I do not have to be ashamed of anything internally or externally. These were choices I made in the moment, and that moment has passed. That past moment does not rule my present.
Right.
Okay. Or let's say it's another strand, which is one I talk about frequently, which is curiosity learning. Okay, that's one of the most dangerous things for people to be doing. We should be using enthusiastic learning, because when we curiously jump into subject matters, we can fundamentally alter and change our belief systems without knowing it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I
So-
see that in people.
Right.
So I guess another question was, so I started in this time to do more meditation. One of
Mhm.
the things that I'm working on is my connection, feeling more connected with, I guess, that voice. Like I call it my masters, teachers, and loved ones.
Mhm.
So I had learned how to go into the Akashic Records. So what I do is I go into my records and I just sit there sometimes, and my whole thing is to, I guess, strengthen the connection so I can hear and see and, stuff better. Um, can I work on some of this stuff during meditation? And I'll give you an example. So, last night went into, I said, okay, I will look at past traumas that happened in my life because I noticed that I don't have a lot of memories of my childhood. So I was wondering why. So I brought up instances where I was never raped or anything like that, but I've always had inappropriate touch like, growing up,
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
like inappropriately touching me. Anyway, so I like went back to those times in my mind and I realized that a lot of stuff I remembered that, I had locked out of my memory. So then after I called up all those things, I went back to like the first time that I remembered it happening and I spoke to that little girl and I tried to like get a sense of how she was feeling at that time. So I spoke to her and we had a conversation and I kind of walked away feeling better. Is that
That's
that
beautiful. That's very beautiful work.
okay?
And I recommend people doing very similar things by going and looking at your pictures of your past. And you can find plenty pictures where you have the fake smile on, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And choose to talk to those pictures just like you did with the little girl.
Okay.
Something else that you can do is understand that that little girl or the younger woman who's been inappropriately touched has had dreams also where you have been inappropriate touched or worse.
Okay.
And those dreams, sometimes when you're a young child, create fake memories.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
Or like memories that are real memories, but they only happened in the dream. But 25 years later, you didn't remember it was a dream
Mm,
because the people in the dream were real people you knew.
mhm.
Okay. And help yourself separate what were dream terrors or dream inappropriacies. Okay.
Okay.
Ask each one of the little girls, how is your dream world now? What's going on in your dream world? Is anything
Okay.
negatively affecting you in your dream world? So add that to your repertoire of questions to ask the younger yous.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay. I'm taking note.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
That's a very high level of inner work, what you're doing. I want you to know that. When you're doing it at that level. And some of the other things that you were talking about, guides and guardians,
Yeah.
well, go to your most wounded self. We
Mm.
all know who our most wounded self is. And
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to get at. Because not to cross you, but one of the main things that I am working on is like I have this deep-seated feeling of fear, and I try to figure out where it came from. I'm trying to get to the root of where does that come from, because it
And
literally
it came from the church.
from the church.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, okay. That's interesting because my mom, I never really grew up in the church, but my mom, she's a Jehovah Witness. And one day she just came home. I was about maybe 10, and she was like, "We're going back to church." And I'm like, "What?" And so like for the rest of my life, I grew up thinking like I'm not a bad person, but there are things that I need to go through, and they're telling me that because I have to go through those things, I'm a bad person. But I didn't really associate it with fear. I
Fear
mean,
being false evidence appearing real.
okay.
There's a
Okay.
lot of false evidence that you were forced to accept.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's
And
still fear. That's still
and
fear.
I'm unraveling that, because at the core of it is like being your true self, and that is wrapped up in my mother. You
Mhm.
know,
But
her
you are afraid of being her too.
yes, I am. I'm doing everything not to be her.
Well,
Yeah.
find the part of you that is her. Because there's a shard of you that's still inside you that is her. You are
Yeah,
her
it is.
daughter. Okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Do the inner work on her.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
That's
Why are you afraid of being her?
right. So she presented herself to me as like this really strong figure, and most of the women in my family, they're like that. You know, they come across as I'm this strong, independent woman.
But all in
You
reality,
know, yeah,
they're very afraid.
exactly. And
And
so
once again, I said you got that from the church, but your mother centered her life around the church. And if she wasn't
yeah,
seen as a godly woman, she was afraid of what everyone thought of her.
exactly. And along with that, that came with like her pretending to be my rock, but her still not standing up for me.
Mhm.
Right. So I have, you know, issues dealing with that. Feeling, I don't want to say alone, but maybe that's the best way to put it. Because I was in a home where I had a stepfather and siblings, so I always felt as if they were put ahead of me. So yeah. So
Mhm.
in me being like a mother now, I try to, I don't want to say be be with them like you know how she wasn't with me, but in a sense, yes, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. But I know a lot of my issues are centered around her and my father not being there, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Hmm. So,
Well, you have some things for yourself to practice. When you go back and listen to this, you'll see a little gets a few other concepts, such as working on the strand of the DNA that connects you to being your mother.
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
and create a new way for it to operate.
And I have time now with being self-quarantining myself from Corona. So, you know.
So how's it affecting Barbados now?
Well, we don't have a lot of cases here. The government is telling us that the cases that are here are people that came here with it, and so they're trying to say that it's not in the community. But from stories that I'm hearing, like I'm not sure. So what I decided to do was from the first case that came, I kept my children home. We've been home. I bought like a month worth of food because I
Mhm.
said, well, I'm gonna give this about 2 weeks for because it's going to take about that time for the symptoms to manifest. So if
No,
it's really in the
the symptoms take a month to manifest, not 2 weeks.
wow, okay,
Yeah.
wow, because I was thinking that it most likely is in the community and spreading, but the symptoms haven't manifested as yet.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Also,
thinking.
there's a lot of people that are trying to leave Barbados and can't.
Yes, exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
because
This
the
goes on.
airlines are canceling the flights because they're not profitable for them to fly. And
Correct.
unfortunately, it's just a matter of time before all world air traffic is shut down for a month or two.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And
There,
Barbados is in for its own challenge because it's only got one hospital.
yes, yes,
Okay, it's in
yeah,
for a challenge. It's really in
yeah,
for a challenge, and I don't envy anybody that's going to be there in the government that's going to have to, deal with the fact that you got to shut down all the churches, all this. Barbados is a very social people. I mean, I lived there
We
for
are.
2 years. I lived there for
Yes.
2 years. So,
Yes.
and then the amount of damage that's going to be done to the economy there, it's going to be
Correct.
its own form of its own economic disaster. And the people are going to have to come together.
We are not there yet because we are still not understanding social distancing. It's a joke, really, because they're saying, okay, well, we can only gather in 25 persons, so they'll let 25 people in the supermarket, but 200 people are outside congregating together. So it's like, all right,
I'll liven it up.
exactly, right?
Okay, I'll liven it
We're
up.
still,
Exactly.
we're still in Oystens on the weekends.
Right.
We're still at the rum shops. So and then I heard the government in a kind of way already laying down the foundations for, well, tourism is shut down. We can't pay our bills, so there's no money for you guys. Like how the rest of the world are doing. They try to send out checks.
Mhm.
I hear them laying on that foundation, so I know it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough here. It is.
Start a garden.
I am actually. I put the
Big as big as it can be. Chase away
Yes.
the monkeys.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We already started fixing the yard. Last week the kids we got rid of all the weeds and we're gonna start the beds and we're gonna go and buy the stuff. But we're having a good time though.
Mhm.
Shit hasn't hit the fan, but we're really enjoying being home together. We're having family dinners and
Mhm.
I'm enjoying it. I really am.
Enjoy every part of it, and
I am.
technically the shit has already hit the fan. Just Barbados is not up to spar on
Okay.
the fan or
Correct.
the shit just yet.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
All right, darling, I gotta let you go and move on to my next caller. Thanks for calling
Thank
in.
you. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Bye-bye.
Robert, I like that. Psychic fair canceled due to unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one.
Yes.
Okay, next caller will be Amalia Kokeza. Pardon my pronunciation. You're on
Amalia
with Andrew.
Kokeza. Kokeza, how you doing? Where are you calling from
Yes.
today?
Oh my God, I cannot believe I'm on the line.
Yes.
I'm calling from Brussels. Hey, Andrew, it's really
Brussels.
nice to meet you.
Nice
Hello
to meet
from
you too.
Belgium. Quarantine day. I don't know which day it is anymore. I'm sorry. I'm really excited.
What did you want to talk about?
I prepared 4 questions that I had in my mind. One was about me particularly. I had been facing some kind of pains in my left side body. So I was wondering what you could say about that, because I'm connecting it to my shoulder injury that I had. So I was wondering, and of course, in this whole Corona situation, I'm wondering what is your view on where my profession concretely is going to go. I'm a musician. Of course, all the things, have been canceled immediately. We are the first ones to go down always in all the systems, and there is rarely any kind of support. So I was wondering on that.
Okay.
And
what kind of musician are you?
I play classical music. I play viola, alto.
Okay. Are you in an orchestra?
No, I'm a freelancer. And since this quarantine actually has begun, I'm quite happy because I don't have to do only the job that pays the bills, So I have been recording and creating and making my own music lately with my boyfriends together. We have been in a spin. So because I always wanted to create something of my own and something that has my mark, that is going to leave my kind of signature, no matter whatever it is, good or bad, out of the stereotype. So that has been my wish, and I've been fully onto it because this Corona really made me aware that, fuck everything, let's just do it, But normally I'm freelancing in orchestras, different kind of settings around the country and Europe.
So as for your music, everyone's going to be on quarantine for a very long time. create as much music as possible. Share as much music as possible. Put up a website where people can buy an album from you.
Okay.
Market the rest of your side. There are still people that have been listening to your music as the music that you've been doing when you go out and play in places.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be great for you to start a Facebook Live, once a day you go on and do a 20-minute solo just to calm people down.
Or upset them with my playing.
No, calming them down. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people has been doing that, and there have been different initiatives, concerts live, stay home concerts.
Yes.
People have been gathering already, and making stuff. The Berliner Phil gave all their content for free for everyone. It's really wonderful, actually, in one way to observe it, what can happen when you're closed in home. But yeah, it's a strange situation, and I'm trying not to plan in super long term, and just take the situation day by day as it goes, because the vibes are.
So what's going on with the left side of your body? Is it something that's been around for a while?
Well, currently, of course, none of it has been happening. I have not been feeling it, but like in past months, on my left side, like under my ribs, there has been a strange sensation. I don't know how to explain it. I was trying to figure out, is it coming from inside or outside, muscle feeling or not? So I connected it to my playing, because, the position that you stand in, it's not really natural position. So if I don't warm up and don't cool down properly, it has a big influence. And I had a operation on my left shoulder. So I related that this can, muscles, everything is related one to each other. So certain pains may be projected that then I just make bigger in my head. It's like, okay, what's happening there? I don't know. I couldn't really define it. I went to have an echography. My doctor sent me, but of course they couldn't really find nothing. Everything is okay.
Well, the most important thing for you to start doing now is stretching every day.
Yeah, I do a lot of yoga.
You do more yoga. Talk to your yoga teacher about something that can isolate that side of the body that's in stress and pain, and see what you can do to give it more flow of energy and motion.
Okay, cool.
And then obviously you've made some association with the position of the music and the way it's unnatural. Maybe try to see what you can do to adjust your position, your playing position.
Yeah, I am thinking about this actively, and before this whole Corona madness started, I was in plan of organizing concerts that bring musicians to different kind of practices, like yoga, like meditation, like being aware of your posture, and a little bit kind of alternative methods. But that idea, of course, in this moment has been paused because there are no gatherings. So it's important that I do pay attention. So I will try to do more. Okay, it's a good advice. Thank you.
So are you alone in your house by yourself?
No, I'm living with my boyfriend, and that's also one of my questions on the list. I like around 2 years ago, I talked to Kathy. I also managed to get on the line. Thank you, Wheel of Callers. And I was in another apartment in that moment, and it was a lovely conversation, and she kind of advised me if I could do kind of changes. And now we are in another apartment, and we have been having a lot of issues. We have been here for 1 year, and over 7 months we had works and issues with our landlords. And overall, I've been wondering, should we just leave and move somewhere else? And is it the really right place to be? But for the moment, it's convenient, and of course now moving is out of the question. So
what are the issues you're having with the owners?
Well, they first of all, they don't live in the country, so the time difference is like 6 hours. So just to get them on the line, that was already really difficult. But then also lack of responding in emails and just doing certain things. It's like, maybe that's your standard, but you know what? It's not my standard. I pay the rent here, and certain things should be okay and in order, and it all all the troubles we have been through could have been much shorter and faster solved, you know, altogether. And we still have an issue. There is a big issue on the back wall with where are our sleeping rooms, sleep and working room. There is a lot of moist, but it's a typical problem, you know. Brussels, this climate and this area, all the houses, a lot of houses has this issue, but that still needs to be fixed, and that's supposed to start only in September. So, you know, it's a lot of people going into your house and doing works, and it's you have to organize your life sometimes around it. So it's been quite stressful altogether.
Well, don't let that part affect you now, because no workmen are going to be coming in during coronavirus.
Yeah, and luckily everything is fixed for the moment. Everything works, so I'm super happy.
Don't rock
and
the
I
boat
cleaned
then.
everything, and I saged everything, and I came home, I just disinfected everything, you know, because I was in contact with a lot of people when all of this has started to happen. We were a big orchestra from everywhere. So I just immediately self-isolated myself, because you can never know.
Well, don't rock the boat in the house right now. Let it be.
Yeah.
Just let it be.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry about it. If they're not in the country, that's a good thing now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
That's a good thing now.
I still cannot believe I'm on the line. It's so nice to meet you. Your work is really amazing. Like to hear you and to hear, I've listened to a couple of past shows, and it is really like, okay, this is how it's going to be, it seems.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being a long-time listener.
Yeah, your work is really amazing. It's really inspiring. You know, people should really get awake and try to see what really matters. I mean,
yeah. Well, darling, let me let you go and move on to somebody else here. I think we're going to bring on Monty if he is around. Monty.
Hello. I may leave in about a minute just to get to the kitchen because I'm making a cup of tea, but I'd like to start by saying long-time caller, first-time listener. And
welcome, long-time caller, first-time listener. Let me give you the bell. I'm doing good today.
I'm good, actually. I had an interesting week, and many questions sort of popping up. That's why I sort of raised my hand, because sort of, I mean, there's a personal thing of like, how do I deal with stuff? But I try and find questions that help other people as well. So I'm sort of doing that balance thing of serving others and being selfish. And the one thing about the coronavirus is how can people deal with all the misinformation that's going out there. If anyone's not familiar with my work, I have a radio show, Roundtable, and I'm from the conspiracy world. And I'm sure you've heard Andrew speak about the conspiracy world and how we've been looping for the last 7 years. I bring in your perspective where we'll survive this. They're still arguing about how it started, and I try and point out it's like, even if it's natural released or accidentally released, it really doesn't matter because we're dealing with it in the now. But I get sort of looked, you know, that fluoride stare that people have, like, huh? Yeah. It's audio, but I can hear that stare through the Skype. It's very fascinating, and it's basically like there's a big change, and I won't say names, but I'm sure you know the usual suspects keep turning up and ignoring what I'm saying, and no, it's only these two, and so they're. Well, there's a question: are they trying to create a reality, or are they trying to deal with the true reality? Does that
Good
make
question.
sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So when it comes to conspiracy theorists, presenters, postulators, pontificating philosophers, or any other iteration of the word that I missed, they are trying to create their reality and get you to accept it.
Yeah.
That's the nature of presentation, right?
Yeah, that's true. Because I'm tired of, I got very tired. Like I did an extra hour, like an after party this week, doing it, but it felt very draining, and my head hurt. Strangely enough, the Human Resonance was doing its thing at the same time. So like, well, thank you, higher self. That's just wonderful. Uh, but it's they can't accept the idea of like, you know, there's a massive shift happening, and because we don't know what's behind the curtain, Team Dark, who knows, and Team Light, everyone just fills in the blanks from the last 7 years. And it's so annoying where it's either, you know, Trump's going to defeat the virus in 17 days for Easter. I'm like, no. And it's either, actually, the title for my YouTube video was Virus or New World Order or Mass Arrest, your choice. And
Or
so,
none of the above. Like
Yeah.
last week, I gave a bet to everyone in the audience there would be no mass arrests this year.
yeah.
$25, and I stick with that.
Yeah, I think that's my personal question is, how can I deal with this constant roundabout? Because you know,
Stop allowing it to be roundabouted by other people's topics, sending you off structure.
okay, yeah, because one joke that I use is once you hit the 9th end of the world, you get your 10th end of the world free. Because you know everyone's been putting dates and
Mhm.
they put forward, and it's like,
It's 9 predictions and your 10th is free.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like even now where oh, this will happen, this happened, and just the whole thing about it's 5G that's causing everything, and it's a lot of people, I think that because they've been doing this for 10 years, that there's plans that a certain group want to turn it in worse than Nazi Germany in the 30s. They see this as an opportunity.
That's all they've been talking about for 10 years, and they're just using this as another moment to put forth their ideas for people to believe in.
Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. It's they step into that moment of like, see, I was right, and it's like, well, sort of. And
You're not
also
right. No, you could say you're not right. You're not right.
Yeah, and
You're no
so,
more right than anyone else right now.
Yeah, well, actually, at the start of my show, I had that giddy moment. I think I tapped into the true comedian that I've been dealt with, if you know, the divine comedian, and I was like, I'm going to make fun of everything, and in a positive way, and there was that energy, and that lasted 7 minutes. Then it was like, no, this is what's happening, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And they had to rain on your parade.
Yeah. In many colors.
So here's a prediction for you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anyone rain on your parade, and you will be victorious.
Yes. I think that's. It's all that, because I'm going to be not cranky. I'm going to take my shit stirring to Uber Master in about 5 to 10 months, or actually in a month, where it's. Because everyone's got this thing of like, there's no timelines really. I do have a question about Australia, but I'll get to that in a second. But the Prime Minister said this could be 5 to 6 months. It didn't say minimum, but that's the number that was put out. And the question sort of got answered earlier, where it's going to be a roller coaster ride, isn't it? Because
yes,
I think
they're going to say we're going to come out of quarantine, and then the last day, nope, we're going to be in quarantine for another month. We're going to come out of quarantine, nope, 2 more months. It's the only way to keep people under control.
Yeah, and that's what happened to Wuhan in China. I think it was Monday. Lockdown's coming is finished, and then I think today or yesterday, China's borders. I was like, yeah.
Well, China's covering up a whole lot of things that they don't want anyone to know. Like 40% of their military has been decimated by the coronavirus.
Ooh, okay.
They're Highland people in their Navy that run their submarine fleets, all that advanced stuff. They're advanced underground missile technology people. They're all decimated. Their military structure, their command structure decimated. And that's going to happen to all the other military commands too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Give me 10 seconds. I'm just going to get my cup of coffee.
Okay. Do. While I'm doing, I'll look at the chat room here as I'm making myself a cup of tea also. So, who's going? Andrew is sounding like a conspiracy theorist. I have been one for quite some time. You guys watch the Galactic history?
I don't think we have enough time for that.
Yeah.
That break was brought to you by the Galactic historian. Let your Akashic Records be read to you. Where were we? Oh, the coronavirus. Yes. It's interesting because there's because we have talked about it where because people dealing with their own fear. No one listening in chat, but there's people going, oh, there's no virus. That's another factor of like no virus at all because apparently there's not enough deaths, or they've been saying most people that died in Italy wasn't from the virus, it was from something else. And I'm thinking, they're still dying. Like, what's wrong with you?
Got a point. That's like I said, they're still dying. Like last week I said, is it a hoax if people are dying?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
no, it's not. I'd like to clarify that if anyone takes that out of context. No,
Okay.
they're not. Yeah.
So ultimately, we're at a scenario where as long as people are dying, it's not a hoax. And that's something that many, many, many of the people in the conspiracy world are simply just going to have to get over. You just can't call everything a hoax. Can't call everything this. You can't simply label it and define it and say it's only that. It's going to keep evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving.
All right. I just saw the word vaccine in the chats. What can you see, or what should we do with immunization and vaccines when they try that?
Good question. Are you going to want to not be vaccinated?
I'm 50-50 at the moment because I don't trust people in white coats.
Nor do I. But what if they make it a requirement? If you want any government services, anything at all from the government, you have to have a proven vaccination.
Well, are we able to have the vaccine or the immunization and heal ourselves in a way where not 100% regeneration, but deal with the effects from the actual injection?
The answer is no.
Okay.
No. It all depends what the injection is going to be too.
Yeah.
And the side effects from getting coronavirus is lung damage, horrible, horrible, horrible lung damage.
Yep.
You're going to be on, severe lung issues for the rest of your life. Now, I get a lot of people are going to fight back for this. Not all vaccines are bad, period. Okay? Yeah. There are people out there that say every vaccine is bad. No, you're just a zealot who's believing the vaccine propaganda, anti-vaxxer propaganda. Not all the vaccines are bad. It's what they put into it and the combination in which they give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, those people who think the lizards are putting microorganisms inside the thing, you guys are fucking nuts. Okay. Just like the people who think Clinton's a baby eater. You're fucking nuts. I'm going to say that right now. If you're a Clinton baby eater person, don't listen to my channel anymore. Okay? There are some things that you have to realize just are not true.
Yes. It's especially like you hear something as outlandish like that, and then 2 days later you see them on national television or something, and it sort of debunks whatever you heard straight, like the idea. Right. Is like, they don't even write that stuff in comics, so that's how far out into imagination.
Exactly. Yeah. Baby raping, baby eating people, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay.
Yeah, well, what's happening with all these celebrities? Do they have the virus, or is it attention seeking, or because this is fueling the mass arrests of all these people, like Prince Charles apparently has it.
There is no mass arrest.
Yeah.
No mass arrest coming. Why are they getting it? Because they're highly exposed to people every day.
What's the positive angle that we can take out of this, apart from, we're doing meditating, working on ourselves, going online, because there's going to be people sort of going a bit stir crazy. I think everyone's listening and watching.
Sleep in as much as you can.
Okay.
For those of you that have had a job and haven't had more than 2 weeks off in a long time, sleep in. Ooh, give yourself the gift and the permission to sleep in every morning. Okay?
Yeah,
that's the first thing.
The was it sciatic, whatever, circadian
rhythm. Circadian rhythm.
Yeah, because I've mentioned that where people are going to break out of that 40-hour a week cycle and watch everything on Netflix and then come over to basically watch us. So that's Galactic Story on YouTube, and my channel is Wafer Thin ENT.
so
They're
that you
getting
can
good at
have
this.
your many forms of entertainment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just in this show alone, I've got a new cooking show, and then I can watch that lady play her music. So
There you
everyone
go.
wins.
Okay? A whole new world can be created. The
Yeah.
technology's at the tips of everyone's fingers.
Yes.
It's a matter of choice.
Yeah. And I guess observe and don't engage, because it's going to be,
Engage yourself, just don't engage others that are engaging charge and polarity.
yeah. So yeah, it's got to find that find the tightrope to walk down by looking at the news, so I have something to talk about on the roundtables, but not get sucked into it. What I find interesting is from the government's perspective, every day's new, and they got to keep changing, and so it's kind of weird in a way. It's like, oh, they're saying that because people are taking things of like, oh, he said this in February, but February was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the end of March.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And as I said in a couple shows ago, we're going to get a trilogy from the global narrative. There's going to be one book. Oh, that was a great book. When's the second book coming out? A second book and a third book. And each one's going to contradict them each month to month to month.
Yeah. So it's like
they're going to tell you one thing, and a month later, it's completely irrelevant. And they're going to tell you everything. You're going to believe it for a month, and it's going to be completely irrelevant again.
So it's like watching the first Matrix film, the second Star Wars film, and then the third Lord of the Rings film.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're calling it one trilogy of all one characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that Jedi looks weird. That's Ian McKellen. I know.
That Jedi with the Ring of Power.
Yeah. Like, what? Hang on. Where are the robots?
Exactly. Why is the robot using a lightsaber with the Ring of Power in the Fellowship of the Rings?
And the evil guy, didn't he have an asthma attack or something? What's going? He's a tower now.
Darth Tower.
Funny. So if anyone
Crazy.
Don't try that on mushrooms, everyone.
Dark Side of the Tower. There we go. You start all three movies at once and see if they cross over.
As the machines rise, Lord Vader attempts to take over as the king returns.
See, it all works.
Yeah, it's a better narrative than what the mainstream media is going on about now.
Yep, that's what it was like.
So it's how is society? Is that part of the change? Doing bunny ears of our short attention spans. Is it going to challenge that?
Absolutely, is going to challenge the short attention span personality people.
Yep.
Absolutely. As I cut my statement short.
There's yeah, like, do you study conversation? Yes. Yeah, because I think Bill Maher said, it's amazing how Americans, and it's people across the planet, it's 30 seconds or 3 hours, and I think we're going to lose this 30 seconds, people. There's a meme going around, if the Wi-Fi goes down, teenagers will have to talk to their parents.
Oh yeah, that'll be pure warfare.
Yeah. So basically, just to recap, mainly just for myself, so I can sort of put it into bite size. What is one main thing the virus is doing for humanity at the moment? Like in a positive way?
Good in a positive way?
Yeah.
I've made many statements. I think the most positive thing that it's happening is sleep. It's giving people sleep.
Okay, yep.
Much needed rest. Sleep is the most regenerative thing anyone can do for the body, and the most important thing you can do for your immune system is get good, effective sleep.
And that helps spiritually, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if you're having sleep that doesn't have dreams, the deeper the sleep, the more opportunities you have for real dreams coming through.
Or I've had them. I'm not sure 100%. It's 50-50 where I'm either going deep into my high self, or the body just goes click and the consciousness is reading a book. When you look at the clock, oh, it's 3:20, and then all of a sudden it's 6:15, and it's just, you don't even remember sleeping or falling asleep. It's like missing time, and the memory's completely blank on most levels. That
Mhm.
deep where you must, I guess, you drop into the deepest sleep, and the body obviously needs it. And I guess this type of thing hasn't happened for 3 generations. Is that like if we use the Spanish flu, which
Except
is a century.
nobody stopped working during the Spanish flu.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there was no social distancing in the Spanish flu.
Well, no, all right.
Okay? None of that existed. Everyone, you went to work or you lost your job. If you didn't go to work, nobody had food or medicine.
Yeah, and they couldn't go online because snail mail. So,
Right.
when was the last time humanity had a moment like this where it was a collective pause?
7 million to 9 million years ago.
Yeah, I can see why we're sleeping more. It's like we've been stuck in a loop for millions of years. So, what is Team's Dark response to all this? They're obviously freaking out because they're trying to.
They're not
control,
one. First thing first, they're not one team.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
League Dark,
Ooh.
who are constantly in competition with each other.
Yes.
And then there's League Light, who does play against League Dark.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then there's, who are the referees for League Light and League Dark, and then when they have crossovers.
Yeah, trading season, the draft,
all that stuff. All that is going on right now in League Light, League Dark.
Yep.
And League Neutral and League Pro Coronavirus, League, all the different splinter leagues and groups that are going to pop up.
Yeah, this is sometimes when you talk like this, sometimes, Andrew, my brain just goes, nah, that's it. I'm just going to go read a comic because, like, I know I'll find out spiritually, and all of a sudden, it's not easy. Like, no offense to Christians, but that story is quite easy, good, bad. But when you start, good, bad, and the other 75 different options. Like trying to deal with timelines and there's not one human body because you're multidimensional and blah blah blah, and my brain just goes, I know how to process all this, but I won't. So in a way I sort of shut down. Okay. But keep going.
And just like the FIFA corruption scandal, all the leagues have their own corruptions inside them.
Oh yeah because I guess that's what, if you start exposing one, who knows what will come out of the woodwork.
And they're all bribing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Light needs a point. Dark, come on, give me a point. All right, here's your drug bust.
Yeah, and what I find fascinating is this is not planned or some foreshadowing or anything else like that. It's like how did you describe it? The Prime creator's gone, haha, take this. And the rest of creation's gone, oh, you bastard.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But that's what the Prime creator does. It's like,
does unpredictable things and put stuff into a scenario for people to have to contemplate and then permeate with analysis.
Yeah, because the stupid human language, the Prime creator is writing its own story. In a way.
No, he's allowing us to create a choose your own adventure.
Okay, yep, yeah. You have options, people.
Yes, the story's already there. Just choose which one do you want.
Yep. Are you willing to give a number in a percentage of how many people will be wrenched out of the comfort zone? Or is it just change across the board? And it could be little change where, like, everyone listening, as well as you and myself, where it's like, oh, yeah, okay, frozen peas do taste good. So bad example.
There will be those that are completely unaffected by it, but deeply internally they are. They just don't show it.
Okay,
There will be others who are so affected by it because they have no control of their emotions.
Oh, yes.
It will reveal the common character flaws.
So is it a tune-up? Not a tune-up. The belief engine's been replaced. Is that a good analogy?
The oil's being changed in the belief engine.
Okay, yeah, all right, thank you. I just sensed the belief engine. There's got to be an analogy there somewhere. Yes. But yeah, if the oil's changing, yeah. So it's a tune-up oil change,
right?
For the better, or it depends on personal one by one, like how everyone.
It all depends on how you deal with the upsetness in your reality.
Yep. So. Yeah.
It's all about how you react to it or deny it or allow it in and what you do with it.
So yeah, I would recommend once that sort of happens, have the solar flares and you feel the change in yourself, stay off Facebook, because you know how people like to whinge and oh man, they're just going to go to town on Facebook.
Well,
Like,
Facebook is Facebook is going to have some really hard times coming to it because Facebook advertisement dollars has dropped by like 40%.
Well, now
No political. Listen, no political ads. Nothing. That's all going away. All the corporate ads, the food ads, all the businesses that are supporting it. They're all shutting. They're not paying for advertising.
So yeah, that's where it's going. Okay, because it's not like another social platforms come in. It's just that because of the shutdown, the businesses aren't there.
Like all those free services you get from Facebook, like your Messenger, your phone calls, all that. What are you going to do if they start charging you? Is people going to leave Facebook? Oh yeah, they will.
Yeah,
they will.
MySpace still exists, and that's on my list of things. I'm thinking about starting up my MySpace account again. Start a new one because Tom treats me better than that friggin' Yoda, Data looking guy.
Yes.
I can't remember his name. That's a good thing. Did you see Rosenberg or whatever his friggin' name is at that Senator committee where it's like, I think it was bad lip reading where it's like, okay, because he does look like Data from Star Trek, and it's like, okay, I must look like human, so I'll have a sip of water. There we go. All right. It's like, wow. Zuckerberg, that's it. Yes.
Yes.
Or Zuckerberg. Yeah.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Like the Dr. Zoidberg from Futurama.
Oh, I love that show.
Oh, some of the best Zuckerberg lines. He has the best lines. It's like, yeah, I'm helping. As well as I think it's in the first season, and I have to sample it because it's that great. They go to the beach for whatever reason, and Zuckerberg goes up to a hot dog vendor, and he goes, "Give me one of your young on a roll," and the vendor goes, "We're out of rolls." All right, give me something that could possibly kill me.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, especially I just like the way that the joke's structured, where highly offensive sentence, and the customer service guy is like, "Yeah, we're out of rolls." not just deflecting it and moving it on, not being outraged or anything. So
let me put a question out to the audience. Doing more material. The people that are listening right now that are in the room here and on the different social media engines, what time, because no one's at work, how long do you want shows to go? What times do you want them to be?
Yeah, well, very quickly, Doctor Who have started up doing rewatch parties. Last week, it was the 50th anniversary. This morning, was Rose, the very first one, because it was the 15th year anniversary. The thing is, it was 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which made it 6 o'clock in the morning here. So I've been awake since, for 5 hours, and probably after this, I'm going to go sleep again for my beauty sleep because I look pretty. My thing is, because depending what time, someone's going to be, unless you do two, because if you go in 8-hour blocks, part of the planet's going to miss out because it's going to be like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Or
I know that. I know that. Like, if I do 10 a.m. Eastern time, it's not terrible Aussie time, and it still allows Mumbai to be in thing. That's the best of all times, 10 to 12 noon.
Okay, that was my question, because I think if you can have that the darkness sort of in the middle, unfortunately Hawaii's sort of stuck there, but that would be the minimal people missing.
Right. Well, obviously 10 a.m. Eastern, still 7 a.m. Pacific time, but that's the only time zone that allows all audience zones to listen to.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, the interesting thing is this weekend, Australia travels through time it ends its daylight savings. So before the United States changed there, so like a month ago, this show would have started at 10 a.m. Today it started at 9 a.m. and next week it'll start at 8 a.m. because there's a 2-hour difference. Except for Queensland, because they're closer to the equator and they don't do things the same.
But the same thing here in the United States. Some do it, some don't.
Yeah.
So we're going to be putting out more and more shows as the coronavirus locks down, because we want people to be entertained, educated, informed, and then having everyone an opportunity to speak and have their voice be heard. So please write into andrewbartzis.com and go there and fill in the information there about the times you'd like to see shows or topics and stuff that you'd like to hear. Also, just go to my website and go to the contact us button and send a message, and that it will all be collated. We definitely want to hear what's going on with you in the coronavirus and how we can best entertain you. Obviously, you guys aren't at work.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, there's a stimulus package here in Australia, and if you're a job seeker, you get $750. And I just changed over from job seeker to the NICE program, so I'm like, do I miss out? And then also my job, I run my business from home anyway, so I haven't lost work, and I should be doing work, but everyone else is. And I've picked a wonderful timeline where nothing goes right. However, this is technically I'm doing my work now. So high fives all around.
High five and triple high five and quadruple high five.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. It's coronavirus. So elbows all around.
Yes. Well, digital elbows all around.
Yeah. And here's something weird. Like, if you cough, cover your mouth, no handshaking, but cough into your shoulder or your elbow, and then no handshaking. So you use your elbow. So people still get the, what I mean? Someone didn't think this through.
Yes. All right, Monty, thanks a lot for coming on the show. Do you want to give people a way to get a hold of you?
I am on Twitter. If you dare to walk into the mire of crap, it is at Real Monty Dean, as well as on YouTube, which is Wafer Thin ENT, which is short for entertainment.
All right, and if you want to get a hold of me, go to andrewbartzis.com, go to the contact button. Our office phone number is there, and if you guys are looking to have a private session. Thanks a lot, everyone, and we'll see you this coming Tuesday.
Each different bubble of reality is true.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma.
Nudge, nudge, it's the Holy Grail.
Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.
Hello. Let's create. Let's co-create. And let's change this world with love. No matter if you're from Alpha Centauri or Earth, we all began with the same birthing process. We live in a limited point of view. Living the mystical life daily is about striving for the unlimited point of view. Each day, each human being gets an infinite amount of choices. Living the mystical life daily is about facing obstacles and challenges. The level of awareness that you are working at means you have a responsibility to be equal with it. How does one truly let go of expectation? You can make the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to sleep sacred. The keys to success: choice, 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 and choice.